We need the following to achieve the above style. We need our bodice, sleeve block, and our skirt block. So let's start our class. We're going to trace out the center front to the waist, the full front, and as well as the center back, the full back, that is from the shoulder to the waist, but the full floor part. So I have mine. I'm going to start with the center front. So the first thing we need to do is to determine the chest level. How do you determine your chest level? You measure whatever you have from here. That's from the collar. You measure downwards. You measure downwards to where you have your bust line. To where you have your bust line. So this is my bust line. Rule it out so you'll be able to see properly. Then I'll measure for my chest level. So I have what I have here. I'm going to divide it into 3 sections, and you can use any of the measurements. If you can use any side of the measurement. So I'm going to divide it into 3 parts. So I have my chest divided into 3. So this is 1/3 of it. I'm going to square across. So this is the chest line. Don't forget, this is the full front. Now, the next thing is from what you can see from the picture, you can see that the front is being the style is coming from the underbust. So we are working with underbust. So let's determine the underbust. Of course, you know your underbust. So that's where my own underbust is. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we are starting with the right, with the left hand side. Sorry, with the right from the style. The right is where the cup is, while the other part is normal. So it's more or less like a symmetrical style, but in a different way. So what we are going to do first is to reshape the dart. That is, you take out the dart a little bit more, which is you're going to use about 1 centimeter on both sides. Measure 1 centimeter out from both sides. Connect it to the bust point in this direction. Connect it to the bust point in this direction. And for the underbust, you use 3/8 to shape the underbust. 3/8 is also 1 centimeter. You connect it in this direction. You connect it in this direction. Then you curve it. You curve it. We are taking out a few excess from the underbust so we can have it properly shaped. Have it properly shaped in this direction. So that's about that. And from the style is the vertical dart was used to achieve the style. So what do? Now determine the level where you want your curve to start. Determine the level, which is right from the underbust, like I said. So first of all, let's curve this. How do we do that? You measure from the side, 1/2 inch inwards, 1/2 inch inwards, then 1/2 inch downwards in this direction. You connect to the waist. You connect back to the waist like this. Why this goes in this direction. Now we need to curve this point to this point. So what do? We curve it in this direction. Sorry. We curve it in this direction. Curve it in this direction. Now that's about that. And of course, for the vertical line, we need to connect this to the center of the shoulder dart. You connect it in that. Is the vertical dart more or less like as if you're cutting a princess dart, but it's not a princess dart, it's a vertical dart. So now we need to curve the center front. You curve it as you desire. But in this case, in this style, it's more or less like it's been extended a little bit. But first of all, you need to curve in this direction. So you check if you have a proper curve. Then you measure a little bit, maybe 2 inches or 2 inches thereabout, or 1 inch, depend what you want. So then you mark it in this direction. You connect. Now you have it extended to the other part, to the other side rather, in this direction. Don't worry, by the time I trace out, you understand what you'll be doing with this. So this is for the first part, which is the right side, and this is the left side. So we're going to do the same thing we did with this here. Don't forget, this will be extended to the waist, that will be extended to the waist. And this style can be achieved in 2 different ways. Either you join, you're making 2-piece dress, that is, you join the skirt with the bodice, or you just draft a straight dress to achieve this. It's very simple. So now let's quickly look at this. By the time we trace out, you understand how to cut out this, but I hope we are good. We are good with this. So for the other part, it's very simple. It's almost the same thing. Now, is either you close this or you pick the shoulder darts as the darts, and of course, from it's more or less like a V-neck extended into the right side. And how do I mean? Determine your neckline. Of course, is a V-neck, and the measurements we took from here, from this point to this place, you're going to apply the same on that. So all you need to do is to take the measurements and measure in this direction as well. So that's with what we'll be connecting to the shoulder. So that's what we'll be connecting to the shoulder. So what do we do? Now is a V-neck. That's the other side, is a V-neck. So don't forget, your shoulder that's could or might be at the middle of your shoulder. So don't say because mine is yours must be there. No, it can be your shoulder. That can be any way. So you connect in this direction. In this direction, they are meeting here. If you want, you can take it a bit deep. You can take it a deep bit, a little bit deeper, but that's yours. So we're going to do what we did here in order for us to control the contour around the bust for more fullness. Don't forget, I used 3/8. That is about 1 centimeter. You measure here and the other side too, and then you connect with a straight curve first, like this. Then you curve it out. You curve it out so you can have the proper excess taken out from the underbust. So, and you take it down to the waist. You take it down to the waist in this direction. So that is that about that. If you want, you can also do this on the side of the shoulder, so you can have enough contour. But in this class, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to illustrate it. And the next thing to do is to trace out. And before I trace out, let me quickly show us something. We can't leave this in this direction. We need to blend it. That is, we need to curve it, because from the style, it's not just there. It's a bit curved. So this is what we do. We curve it in this direction. So when you're stitching, you won't have problem there. You won't have problem there. You blend it in. Sorry. You just blend it in this direction. So this is the center front now. I'm going to trace out so you know what you are actually going to cut out and make. Do you understand? Now, our advice, we extend this a bit further so it will be much easier for you to work on. So when you extend it a bit further, it means we're tracing. Let me just trace out for you to see what it looks like. Thank you. Now, don't forget to add your darts to it because you're going to close this or you cut out. You're going to close this or you cut out. Of course, you're cutting out because this will be in pieces. You'll be bringing them back together. And this for the right side. And I feel like finishing this. Let me just finish up this. That is, I'm going to cut this out, close it, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to make it into pieces now. So I have the darts cut out. I have this closed. This is the extension. So I'll make it 1 and 2. So this is what it's going to. This is what's going to look like. This dart is closed. That's why this SS is here. So let's trace out this other side, which is the left side, where we have the V-neck. Like I said, if you want, you can deepen the V. Depends on what you want. You know, this is going to be inside the inside the right. Okay, I think we are done. Okay. Oh yeah, we are done. So this is what the left side looks like. So it means that we're going to close this. Of course, you can pick it on the fabric. There's no problem with that. And just that too, you have to pick it on fabric or you cut out and pick. So I'm going to cut out the shape so I can place for you to see how it's going to look like. I have my darts picked and the shoulder dart picked. You can see the contour. And of course, if your shoulder type, your shoulder darts is like mine, you will need to reshape the shoulder. And if it's not like mine, you still need to reshape the shoulder so you can have accurate shoulder slant. So don't forget, this is your piece. Of course, you must have joined this to this. Do you get? Then just ensure your placement. This line means this line. I'm only showing you what it's going to look like at the end of the day when you stitch. So this is what the center front will look like. This is what the center front will look like. So let's quickly look at the center back. This is the center back. This is the center back. The center back is very, very simple. Very simple. There's not much to it. Of course, this cannot be my right. So I'll make this left and right. Now, remember from the side of the center front right, we measured ½ inch downwards and inward ½ inch. Connects. I'm going to connect to the waist in this direction. So you can determine how well you want your center back. It's very simple. So I'm going to connect in this direction. I'm going to make it this way. Now for this, next thing we're going to do, in order for the center back not to give, especially this side of the dart, you measure on both sides of the dart ¼ inch and ¼ inch. Then you extend it to the waist. Remember, I did not have seam allowance to any of the pattern I've done so far, so you can add your seam allowance when you're done. Now, if you want the center back the same as the center front, you know the center front, it's V-neck, you can do same. All you need to do is to extend this line in this direction. And remember, I did not add zipper allowance now. When the job is finished, I can add, when the pattern is finished, as in when I finish drafting, I can add my seam allowance for zipper. So this will be how this extension is used. This extension is used to correct or to eliminate excess of dart on the center back. So this is the side, this is center back, and this is the side. Now for this shoulder dart, you can have it closed, and if you want the same thing with the center front, you know it's a vertical dart, you can as well extend the waist dart to the shoulder dart. It means at the end of the day you're going to join this together. It's going to be two pieces, which is what I'm showing you. The next thing is we don't need this height. We don't need it. It's going to be cut out. So we are done. Actually, we are done with the center back. So I'm going to cut out for us to see what it looks like. So for the center back, I'm going to number it because of this piece. This will be one, and this will be two. One left, two left, and then one right, and two rights. So we don't get confused. Like I said, for the skirt, click on the button below. How to draft your skirts. The video of the illustration is there, and as well as your sleeve, how to achieve your sleeve. And don't forget this this particular design or style has shoulder pad. That is, you have to shoulder pad your the sleeve. So you're going to cut this out. Like I said, it's going to be in pieces. Just if you want it to be in pieces, and if you don't want, you can as well pick all the darts instead of cutting out. You can as well pick it. So it's very, very simple. So you can create this arrow so you know that you're joining this together. You had your seam allowance 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch, depends on how you are able to use seam. Then you're going to add your zipper. That's starting from this side. You're going to incorporate your zipper zipper allowance. Let me just illustrate something like this. You had your zipper allowance in this direction. I'm just illustrating, you know how much zipper allowance you use. So, and this side, you're going to add your seam allowance as well. You're going to add your seam allowance. You know how you had your seam allowance. So I'm just illustrating the pattern. Now for the right side, you're going to cut in this direction. So I'm just showing us how the upper parts will look like. How to achieve the upper part of this tie is very, 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 very easy if you pay close attention. So this is the arrow. This is the center back, your zipper, and this is going in this direction. You had your seam allowance, seam allowance, seam allowance. You had your seam allowance 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch. Then you had your seam allowance. So at the end of the day, this is how it's going to turn out to be. So let's see how it's going to look the other way. The other way. This, we have this like this. Okay, and this. I don't mind my paper, like this and like this. Okay, and this is placed in this direction. And this is placed. This is the center in this direction, and of course this is coming in this direction. Don't forget. So this is how it's going to look like. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you. Kindly share with friends. Kindly share with friends. Let your friends know what we are doing. Leave a comment if you have anything you want us to do. We will do it. We add it to our lists. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you.